Ben's an A.
Further back.
It's 6 o'clock. We'll open the public hearing for the liquor license renewal for Oxbow Brewing Company, LLC, DBA, Oxbow Beer. Do you have any questions or comments? I can hear that. And so I think we can close the public hearing. There are no questions or comments. Selectmen's meeting will now start. If you would like to join us in the flag salute, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Action on the minutes.
Second.
Discussion. All those in motion to approve? Thank you. Item number 3, adjustments to the agenda. Thank you. Number 4, public comments. If you would like to speak, please state your name and the town that you are from for the record.
I'd like an update on the food pantry. I'm from Oxford. My name is Charles Howe. I think everybody knows me.
Okay. Adam, would you address that?
Sure. We went over to the rec center and looked at it with folks from the food pantry. They feel that it's going to be sufficient space. We've got probably 99% or 95% cleared out right now. Looking at making the adjustments that need to be adjusted. Working on trying to get in touch with an electrician for the electrical needs, but it looks like it's going to work. Would that be a fair assessment, you think?
Yeah, I'm done for now, boys. Great at it.
Lower side, Oxford. The only thing I have on that food pantry, and this has nothing to do with the rec building. It has to do with the other nonprofits that come in just about budget time, and they put in their applications, they put in their financials, they come in here and you ask questions, then it goes, the board votes on it, budget committee votes on it, and the town votes on it. I'm not sure how we just bypass all of those things, and it has nothing to do, I don't care who they are. I just think that if you've got a policy and a procedure, it should be the same for everybody. I know there are many, many people in this town that have hospice care in the last 2 years. And Andrew's Garden Home Health, I think, deserves far more than they got if we're going to spend this much on a food pantry. That's just my opinion. But you make the policies and you have the applications and the procedures. I think everybody should have to follow them. And Lord knows we all knew that we had 5 years to know that we were going to get out of here someday. So that's my opinion on that one.
Thank you, Lois. Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay. Number 5, business items. 5.1, review approval of liquor license renewal. Oxbow Brewing Company, LLC, DBA Oxbow Beer Garden.
So, seconded.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. 5.2, review approval of liquor license renewal for Oxford Casino.
So, seconded.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Thank you. 5.3, appointment of Alan Lima Senior to the planning board.
So, seconded.
Discussion? Alan? Okay. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed?
Believe it?
Thank you. 5.4, appointment of Lois Pike to the Recreation Board. Discussion. favor? Opposed? Approved. 5.5, review award winter sand bid. Adam?
So we put the winter sand out to bid, as we normally do. The current budget for winter sand is $49,500. And when the bids were received, we opened on the 29th. Here in the town office, we received one bid from R.A. Tibbetts for $78,750. That's about $17.50 per yard. And that brings, so the bid ends up being about $29,250 over what we had budgeted this year for sand. So I had a discussion with the highway foreman, Jim Bennett. I also had talked to Mr. Tibbetts on the phone, threw around the idea of potentially purchasing less sand this year and just using some of our stockpile. That's a I'm not faulting him or anybody, of course. I know the prices on everything are going up. That's a pretty big jump for us. So one of the things that Jim and I talked about is maybe the idea of purchasing only 2,000 yards of sand. Mr. Tibbetts brought up the idea of 2,500 yards of sand and making that purchase. So I turned to the board. Would you like me to look at purchasing less volume if we're able to get by? Would you like me to do more price research? Would you like me to put back out to bid, looking for the board's input on that?
How much sand did we use last year?
Can you answer that, Jim?
Probably close to 3,000, 3,200.
So how do you think we get by with 25?
Well, I bet I've got 1,500 still there.
Okay.
So if you add 2,500 to it, you'd be pretty close to
Do you know how much sand they had last year?
11
Yeah.
$11
Yeah.
delivered,
Of course.
which admittedly wasn't your price last year, too.
How long was the bid put out for?
Just about 30 days.
Okay, of course.
What's gonna happen?
I don't have a problem with those 2,500 yards. The problem is next year, that you're gonna put a bid out for 5,000 or 6,000 yards. It lets the door wide open to someone come in and say, oh, I'll do it for 50 cents less. So I'll do the 2,500 yards. I understand it, but I'll submit to you, the board, that I would do next year's bid if everything stays the same relative for the 1,750. That lets me in the door for the additional volume next year. When you do 5,000 or 6,000 yards, that attracts quite a lot of business.
My question is, if we run low on sand.
If you speak up, I can hear you.
I said if we run low this year on sand during wintertime, what's the cost gonna be for us to buy extra sand?
Nick, this winter,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, definitely.
we've all been here for 25, 30 years, There's 3,000, 3,500 yards in that pile. You do 25, you're 6.
Come over here, yep.
If you feel better,
Okay.
I mean, the town of Otisfield pays $15 in the pile down there, and they truck it. So after they take theirs, I can screen 1,000 yards. It's not a big deal. If it makes you happy.
But how much are you gonna charge, Richard?
I can't hear you, Sharon, I'm sorry.
How much are you gonna charge if we need more? How much,
If you need more,
are you gonna
you
save?
gotta talk to.
If we need more, I will.
Yeah. If you need more, in the wintertime, you'll usually get a $2 surcharge, yada, yada, you gotta throw the snow all over it, yeah.
So it's gonna be more than the it would
No.
be more than the 1,750.
$15,
Yeah.
you truck it. $14 you truck it. I mean, if you gotta get into that in the wintertime, normally, you gotta take an excavator down there, peel the snow off it, and you gotta take it all, because if you leave it, now you got the face of the pile open, now it's snowing on that again, so now you gotta peel that off until the sides again.
Oh, I know.
I don't think you'll have it, unless you have an abnormal winter, I don't think you'll have any problem.
I mean, what Jim's saying, if we got 5,000 yards up there, we're all right, Jim?
Right.
Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, for the last 30 years.
Right.
But we don't.
I'm not saying you can't, I'm not saying you can't have 3 or 4 ice storms, and tear right through it.
We don't have 5,000.
I would assume it would rain with
If you take
global
what
warming.
is 3,000.
No, it's 2,500 yards.
Yeah, but another 2,500 does add up.
I've got about 1,500 at the shop right now.
There's
I-
15
That's what I
at
figure.
the shop right now. If we got 25 from him, that's not 5,000.
Okay, I thought that's what he said.
Yeah.
He did say that. He did.
Yeah, I did say that, but,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I don't know if I ever, we've never used it all anyway, did we, Jim?
Yeah.
Not since I've been here.
Not since you've been, well, either.
Okay.
Oh, not since I've been here either. I don't, I think,
I mean,
I think it's worth a gamble.
In the ice storm, you didn't run out.
Right.
On the ice storm, you're gonna use a
In
lot
the
more
ice storm,
salt.
guys had 6,000 yards, you were golden.
And usually if you have ice, you're gonna use salt over the sand anyway. So you're gonna dig into your salt pile.
You know, if you have freezing rain, for 5 to 6 hours, I
Yeah.
mean, Jim did that extra on, I mean, you use 2 or 3 times the amount, it's like 3 snowstorms.
Jim, what was the salt price this year?
$80 a ton. That went up almost $30 a
I
ton.
was gonna say that. That's a big increase.
Yeah, we paid 54 last year.
And did we buy the same amount? What did,
Last year I bought more than I had in previous years.
yeah. Well, I knew last year you did, but
Yeah.
what about the budgeted amount this year?
We buy it on as need, you remember, you get deliveries along the way, so.
I actually, the budget I based on,
We increased it.
yes, we did. But I want to, 1,200 ton, I think, was what I budgeted for this year.
Okay. So what do you want to do? Do you want to,
I make a motion that we take this 2,500 yards.
Second.
discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed?
The price is gonna go down. Richard? You can't hear?
No, we can't.
My hearing aid's going, if you guys paid me, well, I could buy new hearing aid better.
So,
Borrow
the
mine?
price of fuel goes down next year. Is the same price gonna go down?
Excuse me?
If the price of fuel, Price of fuel. if the price of fuel goes down next year, does the price of sand go down too?
Well, you gotta have an offset, I mean, I live here, I pay taxes, if it goes down $2 a gallon, it can go down.
Okay.
If
Just asking.
everything holds the same, if it goes down 50, 75%, no.
Okay.
But I pay taxes here.
No, Tim said-
I get it. All right, thank you for your time. Have a great night.
Same here. They can't hear us.
See you later, Jim.
Yeah.
5.6, review award transfer station garage door replacement bids.
Okay. So, we recently put out an RFP for replacing the garage doors at the transfer station and at the recycling center. Ed's here to talk about it as well. In short, we received 3 bids. This is to replace all 3 doors. From overhead door, $24,796. From D&N sales, $25,361. That's for the door that rolls up at the top, or the one that comes up on the tracks is $14,846. Then from the door guy, $25,100 for the one that rolls up at the top, or $17,025 for the one that goes on the tracks. So those are the 3 bids that we received. I don't know, Ed, did you want to add anything, or you had a recommendation on which one you think is best?
I've been doing business with the D&M, and they're very good with service, and when you call them, they're there. I'd recommend them, I think, on the 14 and go with the regular doors. Because you can get parts a lot easier for a regular door if you something screwed up on a regular one than roll-ups.
So if the board is interested in moving forward with Ed's recommendation, I do think it's a safety issue just with the type of doors that are there. I'd recommend that we put the fund balance account, the fund balance policy account, the 9701, for the $14,846.
Make a motion to move forward with it. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Oh, we get-
Scott,
go ahead.
sorry.
So, no, this one. So, we appropriated money, what, 2 years ago to paint that building and have the baler fixed. So, my memory serves correctly, there was money in there. We never had the building painted. Is that money available to be used to this project?
Well, there isn't money in the reserve account for them right now. In the transfer station reserve, that is enough to cover that. So, as far as the money to paint the building, was that something that was a fund balance discussion? Was appropriated at town meeting?
So it wasn't the money to fix the building, so.
Okay. I can double check on the money for the paint.
Just wondering if we had that money sitting there. It's already been approved.
Okay. But it was appropriated for a specific purpose, not for this purpose. So if money is appropriated for a specific purpose, it cannot be used for another purpose unless the vote is changed and the money is reappropriated.
I guess the first we found out if it was actually there.
That's an easy check, though.
If it's not, then I'm fine with it.
Not with fund balance. And that was what your motion was for. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. 5.7, accept a $100 donation from Linda Maurice to the Fire Department Equipment Reserve Account.
So, second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. 5.8, fiscal year 2022-2023 tax commitment. Adam.
All right, so I've got Donna here to join me as well with this discussion, the assessing agent. So after reviewing, what was approved at town meeting, our revenues and so forth. So just to give a quick recap, the town valuation has increased by about $4.3 million. County tax has increased by about $23,500. However, the school appropriation did go down by about $40,000, and revenue sharing is up by about $103,000. If you look at what was approved at town meeting, municipal spending this year is about $150,000-ish more than what it was because of some capital purchases and so forth. So my recommendation to the board is that the mill rate remain the same at 15 as it is right now. That's going to give a $50,000 overlay, which is within a few $1,000s of what the overlay was last year, and keeps things rather status quo for this year. So also keep in mind that we are in the middle of a reval, and next year we may see some changes to all of these.
Discussion.
$17.15.
Now is there discussion? Thanks.
So the town evaluation increase of 4.39 million, what is that as far as the tax is? And I know you can't just multiply by the mill rate and come out with a clean number, but it's a substantial amount of money. Rough estimate?
Do you think that's you could multiply it by the mill rate.
And you figure out, how much of a fact.
$600,000. Estimated on the spot.
60, yep.
60,000.
Yep. No, that's not right. It'd be 600,000, wouldn't it?
With the .015.
Yep.
Right.
twenty-five
that's
to
like
sixty.
kind of what we're doing, we're just doing a little bump and then having like a like party like later. I'm like,
Yeah, put
that's-
enough zeros in there.
Right.
So actually, we picked up about $8 million in new real estate. Because we're not at 100% market value and we have a lot of depreciation on fast depreciating personal property, we lost almost $4 million in personal property value. So the overall is the 4.3, but
So, we, as a board, this board, sat and kept the mill rate flat last year.
Yep.
We spent a little bit more money in the town budget, not substantial. The county tax went up minor, 23,000. School budget went down, revenue sharing's gone up, and we've got an additional amount of money in town valuation taxes coming in. And I feel that we should at least try to lower the mill rate. I was hoping for a half a point, but I would settle for a quarter of a point this time, at this point. I think we have more money than has ever come in from the casino last year. Granted, that money hasn't gotten too much yet as far as we gotta get through, the audit, and then the extra money goes into the undesignated funds. I would like to see the mill rate go down at least a quarter of a point.
In order to do that, you would have to increase the revenues to bring it down another quarter. To keep a $50,000 overlay, you would have to increase the projected revenue for next year, or you would have to use existing money from fund balance to bring it down a quarter of a point, or any amount at all. Because the
But
budget.
50 is the number that we have to have, because there is a set number that you're supposed to have there, correct?
Well,
the overlay?
You can't go over 5%.
Right, if you look at the mill rate calculation form, the minimum based on our numbers that we can have is 14,896, the maximum is 15,641. But those numbers, when you change those around, it's gonna tell you what the overlay is gonna be. So if you put 1475 in as a mill rate in here, plug that in, your overlay is gonna, with these same numbers, it's gonna reduce that overlay, that $50,000 overlay. It's gonna make it a lot smaller. I always believed it's best to keep the overlay right around $50,000.
Well, wasn't there a formula that we were supposed to, is 50 the number, I guess, is what it
No, the formula is actually in your mill rate calculation form. You can put any number in this mill rate calculation and see what your overlay is gonna be, what your mill rate's gonna be, what your minimum, your maximum is. It's all based on, you can't have it more than 1.05%. And that's what the 15,641 is. But this just, you have to put your numbers in and then it gives you these. This is probably the formula that you're talking about. The mill rate calculation form is actually based on a formula.
can
So-
I add one other thing?
Yes, John?
We're different here because we also have the TIF. So
Right.
every time we change that mill rate up or down, we're not only changing the overlay and the tax rate, we also have to go up and change the TIF amount as well. So everything bangs one off the other. A little bit this way could give you less than you ever wanted in an overlay.
Excuse me, I got a question. How do you know what the total evaluation is if it ain't done? You're assuming.
No, it
is.
is
No,
done,
we're doing a
John.
revamp, what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That
well,
has nothing to do with
No,
this.
this is
so if
last.
my property's gonna go up, right? I'm just thinking, the guy comes and reevaluates my property,
Okay.
and it goes up, that means the town has more property to tax, more tax dollars
That's-
coming in. How are you setting a mill rate when you don't know how much you got for value?
Chuck,
another year.
for the revaluation that's being done now, that's going to be the numbers as of April 1st, 2023. This
Go side you want, I don't care, I won't have to pay the state.
This mill rate calculation here is based on the tax values as of April 1st, 2022. So this rate here has nothing to do with the new numbers that we're going to have from the revaluation that's going to come in, which that could go up or down. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only thing I want is to go down, and I'll pay less. If it goes up, I'll pay the
Right,
same.
but we all,
I'm old. Your tax dollars are gonna pay
I'd
my
like to see it
tax.
go down too, and that's why I'm gonna stick with that. To bring the mill rate down a quarter of a point, how much money would we have to take from the undesignated fund?
I can do that calculation. I certainly, Donna and I can step out and do that if you want.
What is a quarter of a point? I guess I'm not sure how much you,
He's talking about making it 14.75.
oh, 25 cents. Yep, I can
so
certainly.
the other thing we need to have is, I want to know exactly how much money is in that fund balance account, the undesignated funds, because I think we were just told there's about 1.1 million in it. So whatever we take, whatever we would have to take out of that would reduce that $1 million balance.
It's also gonna reduce the amount we have in the tip.
In the
Going
tip,
toward the
exactly,
tip
yeah.
as well.
So, I understand what you're trying to do, and I'm not trying to get in the way of that. But a quarter of a mill, just as a for instance, we agree that $250,000 house, $200,000 house is average maybe. So if you say a $200,000 house at our current mill rate, excluding all exemptions, he's paying $3,700, $3,750 in tax. That same
We're looking at $100 difference.
Yep,
on
there you
a-
go.
on a-
Did you do that for it? Yeah, you're looking at about $100 difference. So,
And that's what it would amount to on a $200,000 property. If the mill rate were $14.25 versus 15. Yeah, $14.75, I said $14.25. $14.75, your tax would be $2,900 versus $3,000. So it would be $100 a year
yeah.
on that tax.
So I'm just throwing that out there, of how much quarter is. What would you like us to step out and run those numbers? At the board?
Unless it's gonna persuade three fifths of the board to go with it, I don't really want you to waste your time. I mean, I would ask for a bigger chunk, but I don't think it's realistic. The numbers we have in front of us, I expect, and nobody can give you an exact number, but I think there's gonna be a large amount of money after the audit. There's gonna be a substantial amount, just based on the added casino revenues, it's gonna go in undesignated funds to replenish if you take out $125,000.
Yeah.
$100 savings might not sound a lot to anybody sitting on this board, or maybe even in this room, but
I'm certainly not trying to diminish $100. That's real money.
But at the same time, undesignated funds, how much did we take out of that this last year? Buying equipment and everything else, so
A lot.
I don't want to touch it.
Well, if it's at 1.1, might as well say it right now, I don't support bringing the fund balance down any lower than $1 million.
Right. I think we voted on that, didn't we?
Was there a motion on the floor for anything at all? I don't remember.
Yes, I did.
you had a motion and a second to
Second. That's what
pass the motion.
Any discussion?
And I'm done discussing. Unless anybody else wants to discuss it, we can vote.
All those in favor of accepting this, the tax commitment at 15 mill rate? Opposed? report.
With Ed here, talking about the garage doors, I didn't add anything with that, so that's fine.
Okay. Town managers report. Ed?
I do have something.
Okay.
I called to do a load of mixed paper on Tuesday, and they got back to me, and now it is minus $60 a ton. So we've bailed it, and to ship it out, it's gonna cost us $60 a ton to send it out. So I'm gonna sit on it for a while and just see what happens. But we've wasted our time, you know, took us 2.5, 3 months to bail it all, and now we're paying $60 to get rid of it. Hopefully it'll turn around and we can make something, but just so you guys know that recycling is going down and not up.
Yeah. Town managers report.
Yep. So one of the things just as a note item that you have in your packets actually has to do with Ed. He had provided me with some fees, fee adjustments potentially for the transfer station. He just gave that to me the other day. I put it in there just for you folks to be able to look at and review. If that's something the board would like to see on the next agenda, I'm glad to put it on there to review the transfer station fees. You just had some ideas and so forth on those. I wanted to just a quick update on the town office. Things are progressing along. I think we're on track still for our move-in date. There'll still be some construction things going on, but we've got internet and phones and all of that jazz is coming together. So I think we're in a good place. September 14th, 15th, 16th, and then the following Monday, the 19th, we're planning on being closed for those days to allow for the move-in. My hope is that on the 19th, which is that Monday, if everything goes smoothly, we'll be able to open on the Monday. But if we're still running into any issues or anything like that, then we'll have the 19th as advertised as closed. I also want to give a reminder that the 15th is the next scheduled Board of Selectmen's meeting, and we had discussed moving that to the 22nd, if I remember correctly, the following Thursday. So my hope is that on the 22nd, we'll be in the new building and having our first meeting up there. I did want to mention, kind of put it as something to stir the thoughts. Talking to the staff here about hours, for the clerk hours and servicing the public. I'm not thinking about any kind of drastic changes there, but it seems like sometime a little earlier would be nice for some folks, and sometimes 7 o'clock seems to be kind of late. It seems like what they're getting for numbers at the counter, 6 o'clock seems to be really when we really see it peter out and when we're getting customers. So I'd like to propose to the board on the 22nd, some different scenarios on maybe modifying the office hours here. Is that something the board would be willing to listen to and entertain?
I'll listen to.
Yeah. All right. So that's what I have. That's what I have for updates.
I have a question on the town office being closed. What are you doing to notify the public of those dates? Because it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the following Monday. So will there be a notice in the paper, on the door, on the internet, on the website? How are you going to
Our plan
provide?
is to do all of the above.
Okay.
I'd like to see, after tonight's meeting, I'd like to see us put some things in the lobby out here as well. Also, those same things are going to say that after the 19th, you need to go up to Pottle Road as well. I'm sure that's going to be a pain in the butt to get used to as well.
Okay, and the other question I have is on the new tax law for the seniors over 65, and the application that has to be filled out before December 1st. Can all of that information be put on the town's website so that people can go on and look at it? It was in the questions today in the Sun Journal. Somebody had asked what to do, and they gave Lewiston as an example, but the last handout he gave us, one of the pages was an explanation, a very good explanation of how that worked. But I think that we need to have that application on our website so people can print it off. And I thought we had also discussed about having an insert in the town taxes.
Yeah, I have that perfectly
Okay.
all set.
So that will go out with the tax bills. Okay.
Did we put that application online already? I thought we did.
I thought we had that resolved.
We'll double check.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. You just answered one of my questions.
Paul, did you have your hand?
Yeah, on the applications, even for like employment ones, can we have them so they're fillable online, so you don't have to print and then send them in, so you just fill them out online?
I don't know the answer to that.
We can look. Yeah.
They're just, people have asked about that for fire EMT jobs.
Sure. Number 8, selectmen items. Any questions or comments from the
Okay.
selectmen?
We're gonna discuss changing the hours.
Yeah.
Curious if we could start a count, as to how many people come in after, if you're looking at 6 o'clock, how many people come in between 6 and 7? How that might change that.
Probably what I'll do is I'll pull the transactions. That's the easiest thing to do, is pull the transaction log for the last umpteen amount of time. That's what I was gonna do at least.
So how would you do that if you're gonna close at 6, would you open at 9?
Yeah, I was just thinking of shifting everything. That was my thought at least. Or maybe being open for a little bit longer a day here, a little shorter a day here. You know, I was gonna throw a couple scenarios at you.
Other questions? What's that? Okay. 9, sign warrants, 15, 16, 17, and 18.
Just so the board knows, also, KRT did submit a letter, just an update letter, which I
Oh,
included in your second read.
That's the young one. I think it's down the street.
How about
Didn't have no problem with that.
for the planning board nominations?
Oh,
Just good to be there though, somebody in the crowd. That's it. I don't know more about that.
We'll make it official for Lois. Oh, your
Las Vegas, I went down there for 4
position.
days. Never go back.
Recreation Committee?
I'm a taxi.
It's smoking.
It's you. You're right hand.
You sit there, somebody sit against side. Even the hotel rooms smell like smoke.
Hey, town manager, I was coming on a search for a new rec director.
actually got a good amount of
I
applications, which is
started
good.
in Alexa and I got
So
on the
we're gonna be
phone, I
starting
said,
interviews
"We're
next
taking
week."
hotels here, I really didn't
I'm excited.
We went to
We'll be
MGM,
doing about 5 interviews.
the homeless and all that.
Hopefully by the beginning of next month, we'll have somebody in place. I'm hoping.
I've been eating
Boys in
really-
there.
What's that?
Boys.
What?
Do you think she'd really want that punishment?
No, it's an honor. I don't know if I get beat on.
Yeah, right.
You don't believe that, then people sat next to you.
I already mentioned it. You're late. You don't show up on time, you deal.
Oh, you don't know.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Adam, on this thing here that Ed did, he's the one he's looking to increase them to.
You're talking about Ed's fees? Yeah.
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 Now, On each of them items, what are we
We're
charging
moving
now?
on in 2 weeks, but they're gonna be here still.
I can get that, unless he knows off the top of his head. Ed, do you know off the top of your head what those fees are for tires and all that other stuff that you gave me?
I give you, yes, it was $2 for tires, right? Because what it is right now, it's 4 free per day. If we give them 2 years, I think they've had time enough to clean up their properties. I mean, a lot of people are abusing it. And then I went, I think the mattresses and box springs is where I put the price at $5 a piece.
What are you getting now?
Nothing, it's free.
Okay. All right, and the tires now, you're at,
Right now, they get 4 free a day. For commercial,
4 free a day?
yep. That's been that way for 2 years.
Okay.
Commercial haulers, if they bring tires, in other words, garages or whatever, it's $150 a ton.
Okay.
Tractor trailer tires is $400 a ton.
Tractor trailer tire?
$400 a ton now to get rid of.
Something like that.
Ain't you glad you got out of business?
Demolition,
Demolition is 10 cents a pound, $200 a ton.
and that's what it is now?
That's what it is now, and I kept it the same. Norway is at 15, but it's the $200 a ton. It's a lot easier to figure when you calculate, you know.
Right.
And it's costing us $94 a
So the
ton.
only thing you've gone up on is mattresses?
I went mattresses and the furniture. So I just put the fee to it and the tires. Instead of giving the 4 free tires, we went to $2 a piece.
Okay.
Edward,
Yes.
I don't have time to pick it up outside the road.
Well, we're still picking them up, so. They came in with 53 of them from Payne there that, and they're free, you know? They're still leaving them down there.
I can't pick them up.
53.
It's no dump. Down outside of town, road down on there.
Do you have a motion for the warrants?
Make a motion with 15, 16, 17, and 18.
All those in favor?
Everybody in favor of that?
Add the warrants.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Make a motion we adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Sure.
It's over.
Thank you, Nicole.
Go back to work, we're done.
Tell your boss you need to pay that.
Yeah. Ain't that the way it works? Don't do a good job, you get let something on.
So I'm saying, that's why it's still happening, so. The ATV club on.
Okay, done.